Hello everybody, Neil here from AS CAD Services. This is going to be part one of a two-part video because it's going to get a bit long otherwise. And we're going to be talking about BIM Level 2 numbering requirements in drawings. And I've got a drawing open here. And you can see from this the drawing number is quite long and it's made up of several attributes, some text, drawing number of course. What it is basically, this first part TS2, this is the project number. I've made this one up, I don't know what yours would be. The second part ASC is the originator. This is the company that created the drawings. In my case, ASCS, AS CAD Services. So ASC, this won't change. Whoever I do the job for, BIM Level 2, it's always going to be me to the drawing. So ASC, that's my identifier. We've got this number here, 06. This is, if you've done BIM Level 2, this is what they refer to as the volume number. And the level number 01. Now these can change, as can the drawing, as can the project number. So I've used attributes for this, text for that, attribute, and then these very rarely change. The first one is DR, which denotes a 2D drawing, and X is the role. X subcontractor, static text, so X is we are the subcontractor, so X will always be the same. So I haven't used attributes for these, I've used text for this. And the last one is the drawing number, and this is generated of course by Advanced Steel automatically. And it could be 4 or 5 digits, 4 in this case, just as an example, and I'll show you how we change that. So what we need to do, we need to create this drawing number in our model. So let's go to a model, simple model, little frame here. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to select this and I'm going to go to selected camera A1. Yours is more likely to look like this. Okay, so we go selected A1 down here. Mine's been modified, so you'll notice I changed from the Union flag to the little man there. That's the user settings, and I'm going to use my cameras selected A1 and I'm going to go OK. And as if by magic, documents, here it is, 001, G, that's a prefix. I'm going to show you how we can change that. And if I open this, there's the drawing number. That's how it will come out of the box. Something like that for you. You might have Autodesk on here, might have some other stuff, bits and pieces, but generally speaking, that's how it will show the drawing number on the drawing. So I'm going to close this and I'm going to go back to my model and I'm going to open the prototype. I created the drawing on a GA A1 GA. So if I click on this tool here, output ribbon, prototypes, these are the prototypes within my system. Okay, I'll say that because they're not the actual project prototypes. If I had them in a project, then obviously I'd have to go and search for the project. So let's go to GA1 and we shall open this. And this is the prototype it used to create the drawing. And I put the drawing number in here. Well, you can't see any attributes on here because we're looking at a block. What we need to do, we need to edit the block to be able to see the attributes and change the attributes and do what we like with the attributes. So let's do that. So I'm going to go into block editor. You can also edit block in place if you want to, but we're going to go to block editor. And it's open this block. And this is the page header block. Now I can make this any shape or size I want. I can add more boxes, I can add my logo, I can do all sorts of things in this. But when I close it, it says, do you want to save changes to the hyperstill page header? This is the critical bit. You can't change the name of this block or else the system won't work. You can't make up your own block and use it. You can't use somebody else's drawing template and bung a few attributes in and hope it'll work. The block has to be called hyperstill page header for it to work. Okay, so here it is. And this GA bit, this is just text. I don't need this. I'm going to delete that. The drawing number is an attribute, and there's a number of attributes we can use in the title block. And if I trained you, I would have given you a manual. And if you look on page 366, 367, there's a list of attributes. Failing that, you can go on Google and you can type in advanced still prototype attributes or whatever, and a list will come up on the Autodesk website, and you can see the attributes in there. Okay, so drawing number is an attribute. If I double click on that, you'll see the definition of the attribute comes up, and it says the attribute itself is drawing underscore NO, drawing number. If I spell that incorrectly, I miss the G or whatever, it won't work. It has to be exactly as per the attributes in the book. The prompt, you can put in what you like, but in this case it is drawing number. Okay. So my drawing number was made up of more than one attribute. So I'm going to move this along, just out of the way, and I'm going to add some more attributes. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, it's going to be a long number and it's not going to fit. So if I go into properties, it says the height of this text is 2 mil. I'm going to change that to 2.5. I'm going to change it to 2. And so I've reduced the size of that. I've done it now because if I created all the other attributes and went back, I'd have to change them one at a time. It's a bit of a ball's ache. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this attribute. I'm going to copy it from there to there. And we know that isn't quite right because the attribute is incorrect. And I said on my original drawing, the attribute I used there was project number. So I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to double click on this. And the attribute, if you look in the book, is actually a project number. You could probably have guessed that. I'm going to change this attribute here as well. So I'm going to change that to project number. I'm going to go OK, and you'll see the attribute will change. So there it is. Okay, the next part of the number, ASC, isn't going to change. This is going to be your company, of course not. You're not going to put ASC, but whatever the company is, you're going to put an abbreviation for that. You'll know exactly what your originator identification is. So I'm going to put some text in. And again, I can copy this down. It's just a text box there, look. I can double click on it, dash, ASC dash, so that's my separators, but it's a bit small, so all we need to do is go into properties. It's going to be 2, and the color is going to be, I put by block. It's good enough. And I'm going to move this up, and what I'm going to do just temporarily, I'm going to put it on the end of there. I'm just going to move this down. Incidentally, if I hold Control and use the arrow keys, I can shift that about using the arrow keys. Okay, I'll leave that there just for a minute. Right, so our next attribute is, I used, in my drawing number, if I go into here, and I go into Block Editor, you can't see it, but that actually says building in there, look. And then next to it, it says building location. So I've used building and building location. Let's just discard that. But where are they? If I go into the project data, there's project number. So in my model, whatever I put in there will be reflected here. ASC is just text, as we know. And then I use building and building location. I could equally have used project user attribute 1, project user attribute 2, 1 to 5. I could have used any of these, but I actually used building and building location. Now in everybody else's world bar ours, where it says cold rolled customer, the attribute for that is actually building, and cold rolled order number is actually, the attribute is building location. If you look at one of my earlier videos, have a look on my YouTube channel, I've got a video showing you how you can change these headings here, and also it would still apply. You can also change these headings. So if I wanted to put an attribute in of volume as an example, I would use one of these. Okay. use a project attribute 2 in this case. I don't use 1 because I use that for execution class in my template, so I always leave user attribution 1 empty. But I'm going to go back and I'm going to use building, which is this one, and building location. Doesn't matter what it says here, okay, it's not important. What's important is that we use the correct attribute in the title block. So I'm going to copy this along here, and this one we're going to double click and it's actually called building. But for the prompt I'm going to put volume. So I'm going to put volume in there because that's what the attribute would be referring to. It will be the label volume in the BIM level 2 drawing number. I need a space in here now. I need a separator, so what I can do, I can copy this and I'll copy it from there to there and I'll edit this. Gone. Okay. And the next attribute, I want another attribute. I'm going to copy it along again. And this one is called building location. And that refers in the BIM level 2 drawing number that will refer to the entry level. Let me go, okay, there it is. It's all getting a bit squirrely now, trying to fit it all in. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move this along a bit more. Now the next thing, so I've done those two. Just if you are going to use building and building location, be a bit careful, because if you use cold rolled in your models and you want to create cold rolled drawings, it uses these values in the cold rolled drawing prototypes. Okay, so if you do use cold rolled, I would use user attributes, whatever, instead of building and building location. But for this example, I'm just going to use this. So let's have a look at our number again. DRX, as I said, they don't change very much. So DR is a 2D drawing. X is the role, okay, and that's static text, so that's DR and X. So we're going to go back in here, and we know this is just a text box, so I'm going to copy this one along. And I'm going to put it in there and I'm going to edit it, and it's going to be dr, beg your pardon, dr space x and then the drawing number. Revision index wants to be in line with this because it will add that to the file name in that location on the end. Right, so there it is. This will create, after a fashion, this drawing number. So we're going to save that. It says close block editor. Save the changes to the hyperstill page header. Yes, indeed, we want to do that. And the last thing we want to do, which is important, if you make any changes to the title block, it will not reflect those changes unless you type @sync, enter, and you can type in either the name of the block if you can remember it, or you can just select the block if you can't. So we're going to select it. We're going to select the box, or the block, beg your pardon, and it says, do you want to synchronize the hyperstill page header block? And the default is yes, so we can hit enter. And there it is. So I've changed my prototype now. So for every drawing I do, it will be looking for these entries here. So do you want to save it? Yes, we do. And we're going to go back to our project here. And we're going to look in here. I'm going to delete some of this because it's relevant to my customer. But the tokens that we used was the project number, which is the first part of our BIM level 2 number. We used this, which I said was the building attribute, and we're going to use that for the volume. And this one here, we're going to use for the level. Everything else in the draw number is text. It's just dumb text, which we've already done. So we're going to go OK. And if I created the drawing now, it would do exactly as it says on the box. It will create the drawing with that number on. It will look a bit scrappy. But also, the number of digits is controlled in the Drawing Process Manager under the file name selector. So I'll show you how I got to that. Output ribbon, Drawing Process Manager. This will open. I'm in the user version. You can't change the advanced version, they'll be grayed out. But in the user version, I go and find my drawing process that I'm going to be using. And in my case, it is going to be AS Camera Selected A1. Yours could equally be just the Camera Selected A1 probably, or the All Cameras A1, it'll be this one. Mine is this, I know, and it says here File Name Selector, and I've created this myself. Yours would say just Cameras Page Full A1. This is irrelevant, okay? The only relevance of this is you need to select the process that you're going to be using to create the drawings. And if I click on the right here, it comes up with the drawing name. So this is what you see in Document Manager, not what you see on the drawing, but what you see in the Document Manager. So this G is just dumb text. You can delete that if you want. And the prototype is the bit in brackets after the drawing file name that says A1, AO, whatever. But this bit here creates the drawing number, and you can see it's to 3 digits. Now in the BIM Level 2 numbering system, it would either be 4 or 5 digits. So we need to change this. Let's make ours 5 just for now. And we're going to go OK. And we can close that. That's all we need to do in here. We need to go to File Name Selector, click on that, and change the number of digits in the file name. And we close. So we're ready to create a drawing now. So I'm going to select my camera, or I could have done all cameras or selected camera. I'm going to go selected camera A1. And we're going to go OK. And as if by magic, there's our drawing there, 5 digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I open it, you can see the drawing number is there, but it's a bit of a mess. All right, but it's all there. There we go. Look, there's the project number. There's the originator. 06 is the volume. 01 is the level. DRX is fixed text, and there's the drawing number 002 or 0002. But the spacing on this isn't quite right. So what we're going to do, we're just going to close this drawing. We're going to go back into our prototype. Here, look, remember, output, prototypes, and it was the GA1. Notice I very cleverly kept a copy of my GA1 in case I screwed it all up. Guys, don't forget that. Look, right click, copy, right click, paste. Make a copy of it, because when it all goes wonky, you can delete this one, start again with that one. So we're going to open this now. And we can't see the attributes, of course, because we need to go into the block itself, and we're going to go to block editor, and here it is. And you can see why it's space peculiar straight away. The project number isn't this long, it was 3 digits. So what we're going to need to do, we're going to move everything along, and I generally select everything like that, and I'll move it. And I'll drag it along. It was 3 digits plus a space, so I'm going to guess there. Okay. The next one is building. That should be right. It looked about right previously. Next to the ASC S there, look, space, building. But the building location wants dragging along, as does the rest of this. And I'm going to move this. We use volume for the building location. That might be 3 digits. So look, building BUIL. Let's drop that in there for building location. And then we've got the drawing here looked about right place according to this. So I'm going to select those two. I'm going to move this along. And after building location, that's going to be a couple of digits, maybe 3. So I'm going to drop that in. Building location, so it's going to be about there. All right. So how did I know that? Well, I didn't. That's the long and the short of it. I guessed. I would now create another drawing. So I need to save changes to the hyperstill page header. Hands up, anybody? What do we do next? Of course, we type @sync again. Press enter twice. Select the block. Enter again. Close. Save. Yes. Okay. So let's go back to the model. I can create any number of GA drawings. It's not like single part assembly drawings. We just create as many as I want, so I can just carry on doing another one. So I'm going to go select A1 again. I'm going to go OK. 2 secs. There we are. And here's our new drawing 3. Let's open that. And that's not looking too bad. It probably wants just a little bit of tweaking to get the numbers correct. Okay. And after a couple of attempts, you'll get some nice spacing like this. Just bear in mind that this might be a 3-digit number, whatever. All right. So that's it. So that's how we get the number into the drawing. So whenever I do an A1 drawing from now on and it uses that prototype, bang, it's going to put that number in according to BIM Level 2. What I could do, I could create a different prototype altogether, and I could create a drawing process for it. So I would only use it if it was a BIM Level 2 project. I would use this particular drawing prototype for that, and I have it in here. So there, look, I've got some here, FB camera selected, FB. So that is for a particular job, for a particular client, and it uses a particular drawing process. So I've created new drawing processes, so you can do that as well. And all right, so that's it. Nothing more to tell on this. Sorry, I'm just reviewing. Okay, no, I think that's it, guys. The last thing I wanted to say is if we look in the document manager, of course, everybody's nightmare, the drawing number just says 0003. It doesn't reflect the overall drawing number here, this bit. But we can do that, and it's not difficult. It's just a bit of editing in databases. And the second part of this video, which I'll try and get done this week, I can't promise. A bit busy at the moment. But I'm going to show you how we can get this file name to change, and it will reflect perfectly the number on the drawing. So look out for that one. It'll be coming to you soon. But that's it for now, guys. Let's get rid of this. So until I get that video put out, I'm going to get this one edited, chuck it on wherever it goes. My YouTube channel, of course. And if anybody's got any problem with any of this and they want me to set it up for them, they're obviously it won't be free, but it won't be expensive. I can do that for you. But for now, give it a go. As I said, if you mess it up, not the end of the world. Make copies of your prototypes before you start messing with it. And away you go. Best of luck. So until next time, have a good day. Enjoy your advanced deal. And I'll speak to you again soon. Thank you. Goodbye.